Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota and Bet365. Ben Brown gets clubbed by the Cardinals. What would you do with Ben Brown? Plus another tough day for the offense against a lefty. We're putting on our GM caps to fix the first place Cubs. Oh, and St. Louis is still boring. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is CHGO Cubs podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Cardinals win the first game of this series 8-2. Hard to believe this is the first game they've played against St. Louis this season, and we're here at June 23rd. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Del Mendo, Sarah running the ones and twos for us.
Go Cubs. Series isn't over.
It is not over, but this was not a great start to the series, however, or the road trip. We're going to talk about Ben Brown and his struggles. We're going to talk about the offense, what might fix that. We'll think of ways to fix the Cubs pitching staff, and maybe we'll talk about the Sandberg game if we get to it at the end of the show.
Oh, these people don't want to hear about that right now.
Oh, no, not right now.
Even at the end of the show.
They might. If
it was up to these people in this YouTube chat,
we'd just be
we'd
talking.
sit here and criticize this organization for everything.
So here we go.
For the last 20 years. And it would be starting with, I don't know, Felix PA and how that one didn't work out or something. And that's longer than
Becky says
less than 20 years.
Brown is garbage. Give him a ticket to Iowa.
Can we read some more? I actually kind of can we start that?
Let's read some of the chat.
More.
Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you can get in the chat, have a good time, have some fun, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger.
For me, I need to read some of the comments because I need a chuckle.
Oh, we even have a super chat. Steven,
Toyota super chat.
Toyota super chat.
Brown needs to see sports psychologists.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Channel 4 News, glad PCA was the shiny spot on this turd sandwich.
I like that one. That's a good one.
I've missed Mo. Mo just gave us a boo.
This pitching staff is mid-tier. Their offense is struggling. Their pitching can't give up 10-plus hits 5 days in a row. I agree about the pitching. That's for sure.
Steven thinks Ben Brown is done.
Steven thought Ben Brown was done a month ago.
Yeah.
Jed better be on the phone from Taylor.
Taylor says sell everybody but Casey.
Shota for Brown has to be the roster move from Gary. Yeah, I mean,
we'll get there.
Craig keeps trotting Ben out there. I think we have enough evidence it's not working. We can talk about that. I mean, I feel like we talk about that every time Ben Brown starts.
Here, I mean,
why not another freaking time? Because why not?
Does Ben Brown... I think two things can be true here. You can still believe that Ben Brown is going to be a good starter for the Cubs in his future. And
perhaps
you also can say, objectively, he needs to work on some things. Right? Like, you don't have to say he's washed. You don't have to say he's washed and he's done and all this stuff.
Well,
like
I think washed
he's
is
a young...
Sorry.
Washed on are never going to be anything.
Washed is...
I can't go there.
Washed is the wrong term because most people use the term washed for like Justin Turner.
Right.
Ben Brown is what, 25?
Yeah.
24, 25? I think Ben Brown is just young. Now, to go off what you said, yeah, Ben Brown's not getting it done on any kind of consistent level. And tonight, what's crazy is you saw everything that we've seen all from Ben Brown all season, which was like 3 really good innings, and then he gave up that homer in the 4th, and you were hoping that maybe he would lock back in going forward, and then he just didn't. And we all know that he only went back out there for the 6th because the bullpen is taxed and Craig was trying to get anything else out of him. So, for me, I don't really know what to do, Luke. Like, this is the problem. You want to send Ben Brown to Iowa and keep rolling Colin Ray out there?
Well, here are the options, right? You send him to Iowa. You send him to the developmentalist as Gary wants. You put him in the bullpen, or you leave him in the rotation. Colin Ray has probably If you're zooming out and looking at the whole thing, Colin Ray's probably pitched better than Ben Brown this year. But Ben Brown obviously has a higher ceiling in my eyes.
I disagree. I disagree.
Well, recently, neither one of them's been good. That's the problem.
I hear you.
I heard a discussion today also about, hey, here's your situation. Whoever, I think it was Boog Shambi was talking about it. When this move happens, whatever the move is that's coming up, if you're choosing between Colin Ray and Ben Brown, whoever you're choosing to stay in the rotation is the guy you're saying will pitch more innings for you this year. So generally you would say, in a perfect world, I'm choosing the guy, the better pitcher, because I want him to pitch more innings, right? Even though somebody might be better suited for the bullpen, yada, yada, yada. The trick is what you keep talking about. It's not only, it's the asterisk to it. It's well, also, less innings might be something they're also thinking about for Ben Brown.
Sure.
So for those people that don't want the bullpen, and I understand that, the bullpen eventually could be a route where you say, well, he could be more protected with just the 2 pitches and a smaller sample size, and you would limit his innings by putting him in the bullpen as opposed to having him a starter and trying to get 5-6 innings out of him every 5 days. I would lean towards the developmentalist, Iowa, yada yada yada. Right now, the answer is adding more pitchers. That there is no perfect answer right now.
Okay,
there isn't one for him. I don't think
there isn't. You want to send Ben Brown to Iowa? Fine. We're going to leave Colin Ray.
Yeah,
in the rotation. Fine, whatever. I don't really care because at the end of the day, those two are not going to be the reason this team makes or misses the playoffs. Like you said, 2 things are true. They both have to be better. They both were terrible the last 2 days. This loss, I saw a lot of like, this was the worst loss of the season. This was the most embarrassing loss. Even Corey just tweeted that. And like, I get it. We're playing the Cardinals. The division race has gotten closer. I guess I get it. I guess I'm just forcing myself to look big picture because I don't want to overreact to something. I don't want to overreact to me. The last, let's just call it the last week, is the first big adversity this team is facing. We talked about it yesterday. The lack of, or the not having Justin Steele for the rest of the season and Shota being out, that is finally starting to come back and hurt you because you're playing some better teams now. And, you know, guys are regressing in a negative fashion, like a Ben Brown, like a Colin Ray. I should just mainly say Colin Ray on that because I think Ben Brown has just been a roller coaster more than anything else. But at the end of the day, when you don't have your top 2 starters that have both made the All-Star team in their career, you are the effects of that when you don't have them are going to eventually come and get you. And so right now, this team is going through it with, on the pitching side, not having those 2 guys. Thankfully, you're getting Shota back on Thursday, but you're not getting Justin Steele back at all, and at least this year. And that's a big loss, dude. That guy was locked in to pitch 150 innings for you this year, and we're sitting here talking about how we need Ben Brown and Colin Ray to be this guy or that guy in order for us to win. Like, that's just, to me, that's that's just like that. That's not the reason they're going to win or miss the playoffs, in my opinion. Whether the reason they're going to make the playoffs is if they add the arms that they need to add, and they have to be the right arms, which will be grading on Jed Hoyer whenever all that time comes. And if they miss the playoffs, it's if they either go get the arms and it doesn't work out, or they don't do anything at all, which I think is an extreme way to think of it because I don't think they're that stupid. So for me, as I sit and look at this team right now, I'm just patiently trying to wait and see what happens. I don't really know what they should do. Ben Brown gets a lot of strikeouts. He leads the team in strikeouts. Colin Ray can't get a swing and miss from anyone and gives up a ton of hard contact. Ben Brown gave up 4 home runs tonight, though, too. He also pitched the gym again, and went head-to-head or toe-to-toe with Tarek Skubal. Roller coaster. Colin Ray has just basically been bad for the last month and a half. I don't know what you do with both. You're gonna bring Shota back on Thursday, and one of those two needs to be out. I personally don't know what you do. Me personally, at this point, if we're thinking about Ben Brown's innings and we're thinking about him needing to work on execution because he throws too many pitches that aren't competitive, and we've seen a consistency of that over the last month, 2 months, whatever. If that means we need to send him to Iowa, fine. But Colin Ray is not going to be any better in that spot. So to me, it just doesn't matter. It's a debate or a conversation that, to me, is just a waste of time.
I think,
and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have the conversation. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'd like neither one is giving you consistent enough innings to where I feel confident every 5th day that they're going out there.
And that's why I would lean this way. I wasn't sure about this, but what's best for the team right now? We don't really know the answer, right?
Yeah,
obviously the trade route might be the answer. What's best for Ben Brown? Probably taking a reset moment, going to Iowa and trying to figure out a third pitch, refine some things, come back, build up the confidence, come back and do it again. From May 13th to June 23rd, he's allowed 32 runs and 9 home runs in his last 7 appearances. Tonight, 8 runs, 4 2-run homers. Game before that, 2 runs, 1 homer against the Brewers. Game before that, 6 runs. Then, as you mentioned, the starter game where he comes in afterwards and he gives up 2 runs against the Tigers. The game before that, no runs. The game before that, 8 runs. The game before that, 6 runs. And there were some things that made some of those games funny. It's just too much of a roller coaster ride. It just is. And then it taxes your bullpen.
Right.
I'd also like to consider the scenario of going with a 6-man rotation and leaving guys in. But what's best for Ben Brown is probably figuring this out somewhere else right now. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing for the Cubs right now, but I think it's the best for Ben Brown. We'll see what the Cubs do. They have some time to do it. It's great timing for Shota coming back.
Thank goodness. Timing couldn't have been better. But we also have to limit what we should expect with him coming back too. Like,
yes.
You know he's not going to go out there and be an ace in his first start back.
I know it.
And you know he's going to have a pitch count.
I know it.
So I hope Bruce Levine is right, Luke.
We'll get to
I hope
Bruce's
they go
report.
find some random dude on the street and bring him in. And he saves the season, Luke. He saves the season. And while we're at it, just call up Kenta Maeda. He had 7 no-hit innings or whatever it was yesterday.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a possibility.
Screw it. Just do it, man. I'm tired of sitting here having to, like, this. I feel like we've had this conversation for, like, the last month, man.
Flat Earth Poker says, we're collapsing. It's too early to talk about collapsing. It's too early.
It's okay.
A lot of time to fix things. Shota's coming back. They have the resources to go out and improve the rotation and improve things that are wrong with this team. They will. We'll talk about more of them. We'll talk about Shota's return. We'll talk about a way to fix the offense maybe if they need one. Maybe there's a couple solutions there and more. Let us know in the chat. How would you start to turn this Cubs team around, as they're just in a little bit of a slump here. I'm not going to panic. You can if you want to. Stick with us. We're going to take a quick break to tell you about some of our great sponsors here at CHGO, and let us know in the chat what you're thinking.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Again, if your bet wins or loses. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes 5 runs ahead, with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. All right, breaking news from Bet365. New customers, again, now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up and use code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. You can use them on futures, player props, spreads, totals, and more. I used them on Seizuki to go over 19.5 homers for the season.
Winner!
That's how you win. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus, or if you or someone you know has a gaming problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be assessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Just like our favorite team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home flooring advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. They have flooring experts. We've all been to the big box store. You wander the aisles endlessly, and those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you might have been, instead of flooring, they might have been selling sinks yesterday. They could be in the garden center tomorrow. It's a whole different ball game with Empire. They have flooring experts, and they bring the showroom to your home. With Empire Today, get clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, schedule that installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount using the promo code CHGO. You heard me right, $350 off. Use the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. Cubs lose to the Cardinals in Game 1 of this series. We're back with some Toyota Super Chats after the game. Steven started us off earlier tonight saying Ben Brown needs sports psychologist, and then he said, for $5, doubling down, I'm glad you enjoyed my joke. Ha-ha. With Brown, I think it's more mental, not physical. All right. And Mo says in a $2 Super Chat, trade now, need arms, and a bench bat. Boo. And then another $2. Michael Jordan had a better average than our bench bats. And then Mo says Ben Brown spelled backwards is blown game. Thank you for all the Super Chats. We appreciate your comments and your Super Chats.
I don't think that's
actually,
true.
That doesn't actually work.
That doesn't make sense, Mo.
But he made you think about it.
Listen, man, thanks for the money.
It's time for our Taking the Temp segment. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. So Ben Brown, I would suggest to you, is the reason they lost this game. You can't give up 4 2-run homers and win a game on the road, almost ever. Mm-hmm. However, the Cubs also didn't fare very well against a left-handed pitcher again today. And it is something that has been a bit of a problem, especially recently, Cubs facing left-handed pitchers. PCA's hitting like a $183 with a couple walks against lefties this year. And so you're starting to have your offense count on Ian Happ to have a big night or Dansby Swanson to have a big night. You don't have Miguel Amaya. Is Carson Kelly going to be the right-handed bat that carries you? They don't have a ton of bang from the right side, right? To counteract lefties. Justin Turner hasn't been the guy that everybody hoped he might be. So the good news was that we got today was Miguel Amaya has started a throwing program. Council says they believe he'll be back before the All-Star break. Keep in mind, the All-Star game is 3 weeks from tomorrow, a.k.a. Tuesday. So within 3 weeks, they expect him back. Now, he's not necessarily the thump you're talking about either. He's got like 4 home runs, I think, this season, 3 or 4. But he would be a nice addition to the Cubs coming back, especially from the right-handed side. We've been trying to figure out, we know everybody's upset about Justin Turner, and people want Justin Turner DFA'd, which I don't think's happening.
He did have an RBI
Somebody
tonight.
texted me again tonight. Eugenio Suarez. Last year of a contract. Could be available. He's got like 25 bombs. Is he a perfect player? No. But, Cody, he could help solve some of your concerns or anxiety at third base. Not that he's good defensively at third base, but you could see like some sort of platoon. Like, I love Matt Shaw, and I love what he does defensively, but if you could tell me that Eugenio Suarez was playing third base occasionally in certain lineups, and he was, instead of Justin Turner, your big bat, when you're facing a lefty, a lineup that has Eugenio Suarez in it certainly makes you more dangerous against lefties than anything they're putting out there right now. Is that crazy? And if so, what would you give up for him?
I mean, he's a rental. I looked it up earlier. He's minus in both defensive runs saved, outs above average, and fielding run value. But he's never been known as a defensive player. I mean, we all know who he is. He's killed us enough times. Got like 35 homers against us.
He's got 25 home runs this year.
Obviously,
22 against the Cubs.
Obviously, the bat would make a difference. He's got 25 homers here in June. And got 140 WRC plus. I did see a highlight of him getting hit by a pitch tonight, I believe, leading to him having to come out of the game. So I guess we got to monitor that. It makes a lot of sense if he's fine. At least a lot of those types of moments lead to an IL stint. Could be a broken hand or something like that. So who knows? Maybe because if that leads to the Diamondbacks crumbling a little bit longer or crumbling now, maybe they decide to sell in July, and you could. If he's supposed to come back early in August or something.
He could end up being a Chris Sale deal while he's hurt.
Right.
I still say if Chris Sale had 3 weeks to get ready at the end of the season, I would still trade for Chris Sale.
So I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up anything inside the top 10 of your system. I barely want to give up anything inside the top 20 of the system. This is a rental. He's 33 years old. And even though he's got 25 bombs and has a 140 WRC plus, it's not like his defense is good either. And listen, can he hit? Yes. But you're also sacrificing defense, and we've seen how the defense has been at third base for the Cubs in recent years, man.
They just have no pop against lefties.
It depends on how you use him, though. If you were to add him, it depends on how you'd use him. You could. Maybe he only plays against lefties, or maybe you start him and then you take him out late in the game if you have a lead and put Shaw there, right?
Sure.
Maybe that's the way to go. Then also, and the Cubs are thinking about this, and I'm thinking about this every single day, but you add a guy like that, you're playing him every day, man. In my opinion, I just said, maybe you just play him against lefties, but I think if you add a guy like that, you got to play him every day.
Shaw has to become your utility guy all of a sudden.
And can Shaw be that utility guy? Can he find a way to make an impact on the game that way, or do you got to send him to Iowa before the end of the, for the rest of the minor league season, and then let him join back after the minor league season is over? I guess that's something they can ponder, right? But I don't know, man. He makes a lot of sense from an offensive standpoint. And I know I've gone on little rants on here before about how, defense can't be everything. It's just maybe it's recency bias, but watching this pitching staff right now, this pitching staff relies so much on this team defense.
Yeah.
And until I see us or them pitching better, I guess, is the best way I can say it. Until I see that, it's like the team defense is really important. So,
Of the third base options I've heard, like people saying, you need to add something, he's maybe the most interesting. I agree he's not a perfect fix. I love that it's just a one-year rental, and next year you could give the job right back to Matt Shaw and say, it's 100% yours, you know?
Yeah.
Your first year was a roller coaster ride. We're not saying you're not the future. You are the future, but we're trying to win right now, and you can help in some ways. And then, by the way, yes, I did notice 17 people in the chat said he got hit by a pitch today, as you mentioned, while they were all typing that.
Yeah. So, they can pick up Jamer Candelario.
No, don't do it.
Everyone's mad right now. Should I have said that? Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Justin says Cam Smith could be playing third right now. Why do people think Shaw's better? He's in the 1% of exit velocity. Oh, man, Kyle Tucker. No one wants to appreciate having one of the best outfielders on the team, but I hear it in terms of the long-term outlook, though.
There were a couple more. Did Mo give us a super chat? Was that one just telling us that, Suarez got hit on the hand? Yes. TJ Rich, I'm Jack R's brother. He was here in the old days of CHGO, the beginning.
I remember Jack R. He hasn't been here in a long time.
Where's Jack R?
That's not a super chat, but I appreciate you letting us know, TJ. You don't remember Jack R?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in a really long time.
TJ
said
Rachel in London. I don't know where she is either.
He also mentioned Ryan McMahon. We've talked about Ryan McMahon before. I like Ryan McMahon.
Good defensively.
Yeah, good. He is good defensively. The bat has been not great for someone who's playing at Coors Field. At least last I checked. I haven't checked lately. So, wasn't there another super chat, Sarah? Oh, just the Suarez got hurt.
Mo's been hitting. He's been peppering us with $2 super chats, which we appreciate. Thank you, Mo.
Okay. So,
the biggest place this team, obviously, we'll get to it next time. The biggest place this team can impact in the trade market is going to be starting pitching.
Yeah.
Eugenio Suarez might be a great addition. Could prove to be do I think he'd be an upgrade right now over Justin Turner as the right-handed bat off the bench? Yes, definitely he would be that. But I agree, if you bring him here, he's probably playing every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and a guy with a 140 WRC plus and 25 bombs, he should play every day.
Yes.
Now, I know he's playing at Chase Field, which to me is just another version of Coors Field and when it comes to chaos. But maybe it's my PTSD, but I've seen the guy hit really well at Wrigley too, as recently as this year. So, this guy can hit. He could strike out a lot too, but for a guy who's 33 years old, he's playing pretty well this year. So for a half season, I'm into him. I'm just really not giving away anything that valuable for him though, but at the same time, do the Diamondbacks, do they care? Do they care more about getting something for a guy on an expiring contract, or do they care more about trying to win with all the injuries they've had? Zach Gallen's been terrible. Corbin Burns out for the year with Tommy John. Someone told me that Corbin Carroll got hurt tonight too, or recently. They got a lot of injuries, so their team could be crumbling. So maybe he becomes available. The Diamondbacks are interesting because it's they're in that list of teams that are just kind of blah or meh, and it's things could shift.
They should be better than they should be better than they are.
Yeah, they should be. And a lot of their pitchers have gotten hurt, and guys have underperformed. And you want to talk about massive contracts that have not worked out for them. Jordan Montgomery and then Corbin Burns is all that one has time to age well. But I mean, having to have Tommy John in year one of that contract, which I thought was a steal when it came to money when they signed him, but Burns is going to be out a whole year. He's going to miss most of next year too. So it's just, it's a situation. I mean, Brandon Pfaadt's been terrible for them. Zach Gallen, he's having a terrible season going into his walk year or in his walk year.
Yeah. Would you try to fix him?
Yeah, he's someone that I would love for them to get.
I'd love to get him in the pitch lab.
Yeah, and he'd be someone that I think maybe you could let him start some games, but also if you get him in the pitch lab or something and maybe see if you can use him as a high leverage arm or something in the bullpen, maybe that'd be a good way to use him to start and then eventually get him back to starting. I don't know, but
now Mo is spending $2 to just make us say crazy stuff now.
He says $2, sell the whole farm and get Acuna in a Braves arm.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think the Braves are going to give up Acuna.
No.
And I don't even think our whole farm would be worth what they want for Acuna, personally.
You'd have to probably give up the Hotel Zachary. It's one of the rooftops or something like that. All right, we're going to talk. Shota's going to pitch on Thursday against the Cardinals. We'll talk about the Bruce Levine report and those possibilities coming up in a second. But first, a word from our great sponsors here at CHGO.
Summer is here. It's your home Air conditioning's up for the challenge, though.
Oh, boy.
Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. 2024 was officially Chicago's hottest year on record. Save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons new AC units from $39 a month and AC furnace combos from $57 a month. Call 866-4SEASONS. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
My air conditioner sounds horrible. I will be calling them. Hey, baseball fans, if you're thinking about upgrading your drive this season, Toyota's 2025 lineup is definitely worth a look. There's the RAV4, versatile, reliable, always ready for adventure. The Grand Highlander, plenty of room, great for families and road trips. Looking for efficiency? The Corolla's got you covered. It's smart, it's stylish, it's easy on gas. Looking for something tougher? How about the Tacoma? Serious durability. And the Camry, sleek and packed with performance. Visit your local dealer. Find yours today. You can check out the full lineup at Toyota.com or stop by your local Chicagoland dealership. Toyota, let's go places. What a time it is right now, Cody, to sign up and be a CHGO diehard.
Absolutely.
Cubs are one of the best teams in the National League. They're in first place. You can become a CHGO diehard. Upgrade your fandom today. Join the sickos that are already there, and we affectionately
many of them.
call them sickos.
Absolutely.
Get access to our exclusive written content, a free T-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merch and events, plus access to our Discord lounge. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how to join the thousands of CHGO diehards already in our community. We want to connect with you. By the way, we do have a diehard deal right now, $36 for a whole year. Unbelievable offer. $36 gets you the whole year for the Discord, all that stuff. And don't forget, it also comes with the big Die Hard card, which is instant cred. We need to send one to Jed so that when he makes the deal, that's the last piece that gets the deal done, whatever that deal might be. When asked today, I asked on Twitter right before the show, what do you do with Ben Brown? The great Mark Shanowski says, send him to Iowa. Good stuff. No pitch command. Too many misses in the middle of the plate. Shota takes over Brown's spot in the rotation. Ray can go to the bullpen when Jed trades for a starter. Never question Mark Shanowski. He's always right.
Yeah, he knows stuff.
He's always right. Now, Bruce Levine reported today the Cubs could be making a move this week or the next 7 to 10 days. A, who do you think he's talking about? B, who do you want it to be? Most people seem to think it might be Alcantara.
Those people are wrong.
You think they'll wait?
Yeah.
Now, the rumor is that they've expressed their interest in Owen Casey.
Yeah.
And the Cubs obviously want Alcantara, who would have a couple of years of control if you could fix him and was probably a top 3 pitcher in baseball before the surgery.
I mean,
top 5 easy.
He didn't have a good season before Tommy John.
But he's like 3 years removed from being
Cy Young, yeah. And he's 29.
29.
He's got 2 more years.
2 more years control. Would you? All right, let's start here. Would you be willing to move Owen Casey for Alcantara?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
I'm not saying that they're not going to get Alcantara. I'm just saying that in terms of the rumor that came out today or this whatever
7 to 10 days.
Whatever Bruce Levine is saying.
Bruce didn't mention Alcantara. He just said the Cubs could be making a trade here well before the deadline.
I would be surprised if it's Alcantara just because the Marlins or the national heads have pushed that the Marlins are going to wait until that very last second of the trade deadline. Now, if they have shifted on that and I haven't seen that, then whatever. Sorry, I'm not on Twitter refreshing my phone 24 hours a day. But to me, that they're probably this time period. They're probably going for a team that's already decided that they are for sure selling. So if it's not Sandy Alcantara and we're talking about the Marlins, then maybe it's Edward Cabrera. Maybe it's
Vanilla Chill says the exact words from Bruce were young veteran pitcher. He also said not Alcantara.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so who's
controllable arm that's young, and that's like Edward Cabrera, right? You know,
so if you sent
Gary says Jose Soriano from the Angels. Like,
if you
that would
made
make sense too.
But if you made, because Brown just pitched today, if you made the trade in the next 7 to 10 days, worst case scenario, someone comes in, takes that spot, you might just have to pitch Ray one more time as a starter. Right? Because Shota moves into the rotation.
Yep.
Maybe you're able to make that trade and somehow line it up so that person, you don't have to start Ray or Brown one more time because you move Ray right. If it happens fast enough and at the right time, in a perfect world, that person could take Ray's start and Shota could take Brown's spot in the rotation. But is it the worst case scenario if Ray pitches one more time? Listen, I know he hadn't been good. So all the people that are saying that, I'm not disagreeing with you. Recently, he has not been good. Like, the sand is out of the bottle. It's all the way down.
Him or Brown are going to pitch
at least one more time.
Yeah.
I would agree, but maybe not two. If they're making this move, maybe not two.
And Cade Horton's days are numbered in the rotation too. If we're going to say the same things about Brown, we have to say the same things about Horton when it comes to innings. So that's why they need to get two.
About innings, yes.
Yeah, about innings, yeah.
Well, and
Horton's been good.
But I think the way to solve that potentially is to go six-man for a little while.
Sure.
Right? Just kind of, or give some shorter starts and move him back. I don't think you need to move Horton to the bullpen. I just think if you add two starters, that allows you to keep him around but not overuse him.
Yeah. I'm not advocating to take Horton out right now, obviously. I'm saying that
of the three, he deserves to stay for sure.
That is something that they will have to work around because I just don't see them being like, yeah, Cade, go throw 120 plus innings. I just don't see it.
Now, do you agree with Vanilla Chill that you can't move Casey unless you know that Tucker is staying here? I don't believe so. I don't totally. Now, that would, in a perfect world, yes, I would love to know that Tucker is staying, and then I would absolutely trade Owen Casey. But
I just don't.
I don't
care.
have to know.
I mean, and
it's a prospect.
Like this is an exhausting conversation too. Like, I just don't care. Like, do we care about winning the World Series or not? Do the Cubs think that this is a World Series team if they add those, they make those additions?
I think the Cubs. This is what.
And also, do
this
they believe?
Is what I believe,
do they believe
in
in Kevin Alcantara?
This is what I believe, and I would assume it's what the Cubs believe, and most rational people would believe. This team is good enough to win the division. This team is good enough to get to the postseason. And yes, if you get to the postseason, you have a shot to do something special. And you don't squander those opportunities. That doesn't mean you need to trade the entire farm system
right,
to not squander that opportunity. But you've got to do something to give yourself a chance to get to the postseason and then have some magic in the postseason, right? Like, are they a better roster than the Dodgers? No. So, are they better than the Padres? No. There's teams that are better than the Cubs, but it doesn't mean you don't try and take a shot at getting there this year. I'm not saying you're a World Series contender. I'm saying you're a playoff contender, and that puts you in the World Series conversation.
I guess the better way I should frame my question is, which one of the two outfield prospects do the Cubs like the most?
Sure.
Do they like Casey more than they like Alcantara, or do they like Alcantara more than Casey?
And
that's not something they're ever going to reveal to us until they trade one of them. You know what I mean? They're not going to trade both.
Or that'd
be
do they consider either of them untouchable? Right?
I don't think they
how
consider
much maybe one of them's just slightly above the other. Then it comes down to what do the other teams really want.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
the demand is going to come from the other team. Yeah, they may know who they like more too.
The Marlins like Casey if we go back to the Jesus Luzardo conversations in the offseason. And that would have been nice if they got that trade done. But, yeah, I mean, if you're asking me personally, I don't really care because I just want to win. And if you are able to keep one of the two outfield prospects, then fine. I personally like Alcantara more than Casey, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be right about that. So, whatever. So, I think, based off what you just said, Luke, like, yeah, they have to make moves, and they're going to make moves. And then we will judge on if they were right or not, like we always do.
Sure.
And people still talk about the Quintana trade and how it was the worst trade ever, even though it turned out to be a wash. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I can't sit here and discuss this. We can't trade this guy because of Kyle Tucker. What's the point of trading for Kyle Tucker if you're not going to try and go win the World Series?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think they're World Series contender right now, but they're World Series hopefuls right now. And if you are able to add that frontline starter, add another depth arm, get Amaya back healthy, everyone else stays healthy, and PCA continues to be a bona fide superstar, with Kyle Tucker being a bona fide superstar, and the rest of the guys follow, and you have that juju going into October, you have as good a chance as anyone in the National League to represent the National League in the World Series. I truly believe that if all those things play out. It seems like a long laundry list of things that need to play out. But back in March, no one thought this team was even close to like this level. But here we are. You know, I know we're in a funk right now, and I like I said in the first segment, and we're in like this is like the first true adversity I feel like this team has faced all year. But can we both confidently sit here and say this team has played better than what we expected this year, even with all the stuff that's going on? Yes, exactly. I agree. Like you just said, and Theo Epstein said this all the time, like every season is sacred. And they are good. They are leading this division by 3.5 games right now. I know it looks like we're collapsing because of a bad week, whatever you want to call it. But there's still a lot of games left. There's a lot of season left. And we know what they need to do. They know what they need to do. And they have to figure it out. And they got to be right. That's why those guys in that front office make millions of dollars.
I'll push back a little bit on the adversity thing and saying this and I know what you're actually saying is as a team, like winning and losing, this is when they faced adversity. Obviously, Steele is major facing adversity. Shota, major adversity. Because they faced adversity and did so well, they kicked the problem down the road, right? They kicked the can down the road a little bit. Now that problem is starting to show up a little bit more. Yeah. It's the original problem, but they faced adversity really well. Shaw faced adversity, right? Some guys got off to slow starts. They faced adversity. Like the bullpen was a disaster at first. Then now that's sort of like they've been without Porter Hodge for a while. Like they have faced, I think they've done a great job facing adversity this season. It's just that it hasn't necessarily hurt them in the standings. Maybe this is the first of that.
And that's largely what I'm saying.
Right, I know.
Like a week and a half ago, this team was,
I just wanted to clarify that I think they have done a good job of overcoming some stuff.
When they went to play game 1 against Milwaukee last Tuesday, they were up by 5.5 games in the division, got up to 6.5, and then the game was rained out last Wednesday. Then Milwaukee, when the next game moved back to 5.5, Milwaukee swept the Twins, and St. Louis, I believe, also swept over the weekend, or maybe they took 2 or 3, I can't remember. So, yeah, they gained some ground because the Cubs lost 2 of 3 to the Mariners, and it's down to 3.5 for both teams. So, yeah. It feels, in terms of wins and losses right now, it feels like this team is facing its first true adversity because of the other teams that are playing well right now. And you got these injuries, and a lot of the things that we questioned about this team are showing right now. And so all I can say is that I hope Bruce Levine is right. I hope whoever they're trading for is here tomorrow. Let's get it done tomorrow. I'd like for him to start on Friday in Colin Ray's spot. Thanks.
Becky pointing out in the chat that about Haps at bat could have maybe changed the game. I don't know if Ben Brown still would have been giving up home runs, yada, yada, yada. But
it is a good point.
It does feel where the game changed tonight, where you felt like, the Cubs are in this too. That was a missed opportunity, and things started really going downhill. I'll ask you this question as we go to one more break. What teams do you really consider in the World Series mix? If the Cubs aren't World Series contenders, World Series hopeful, which teams in baseball are World Series hopeful? But first, a word from our sponsors here at CHGO.
Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. They have killer last-minute deals, views from your seat, and the lowest price guarantee. And right now, they have exclusive zone deals for Cubs games at beautiful, historic Wrigley Field. 10% off exclusive zone deals. And coming up, July 6th, the Cardinals come to Wrigley that Sunday, July 20th against the Boston Red Sox, and August 3rd against the Orioles. On the 6th, for the Cardinals, zones 29 through 32, where you get the 10% off in those in that exclusive area, all right? So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHGO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake is kicking off summer with big savings all month long. Come in today to shop their summer sales event and drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of the area's largest Chevy inventories, you'll find the perfect vehicle for you. Plus, with Ray's Price Promise, you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location on Route 12 in Fox Lake. And don't miss out on their summer sales event going on all month long right now for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. Hey, they've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. There is nobody we recommend. This is who we recommend.
Absolutely.
They are our partners. Ray, baby, we love you. All right, so before the break, by the way, Cubs lose to the Cardinals in Game 1 of this series. We all know that. Ben Brown, 4 home runs, 4 two-run homers.
But Milwaukee did lose.
But Milwaukee lost. I asked before the break, who are the real teams that you think could get to the World Series, win the World Series? You know, basically not totally unrealistic to think that team could be in the World Series. Phillies, yes. Right? Mets, yes, that's 2. Braves, no, they're 11 games back. Could they get in and be interesting? Sure, I guess. But I'm going to say Phillies and Mets, that's 2. Cubs, 3. Brewers, no, they never get to the World Series, so that's not happening. And I'm not putting the Cardinals in there either. Dodgers, yes, that's 4. Giants, yeah, I'd say 5. Padres, yes, 6. So 6 in the National League. Let's go to the American League. Yankees, that's 1. Rays, you think the Rays could get to the World Series?
I mean, they're playing well right now. Maybe.
All right, fine. Throw the Rays in the mix if you want.
Might as well be American
2.
League Brewers.
Tigers, 3. I don't think the Guardians are in the mix.
Okay.
All right. Astros, 4. I only have 4 teams in the American League.
Yeah, the American League is down this year.
So the Cubs are one of 10 teams that think they could get to the World Series. 1 of 6 in the National League, and I think that's a large 6 that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
That's why you don't. That's why you have to make a move that may not kill the farm system, but it needs to be an aggressive move. It needs to be a frontline starter before it's all said and done. If that's Alcantara, I don't know. Now, today's game, when you looked at it, at one point, Counsell, we talked about Becky before the break, said Hap at bat was a big one. It was. Mm-hmm. Counsell kind of punted on this, right? He brought Brown back out
for the 6th.
And then he started taking guys out. He takes out PC. At one point, he had Birdie, Bruhan, and Brazier on the mound. Mm-hmm. You knew the game was over. They waved the white flag. Here's part of the reason for it. Number one, it's a 4-game series. And if you get out of St. Louis with a split, like we said before, it's not a big deal. You feel pretty good about it. Again, considering Show'd be the first time coming back. You don't have Steele. Yeah, you haven't been playing great ball. If you get out with a split, it's fine in St. Louis. It's a 4-game set. Give up the first one. Don't burn the bullpen. Save them because you're going to need them potentially with Shota pitching on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, you lost game 1, but if you're realistically thinking a split would be okay in this series, you now have Tyone, Boyd, and Shota going in this series. You have your 3 best pitchers going in the next 3 games.
And they're not throwing. The Cardinals don't have Gray or.
That's why you punt on
the
this.
other guy.
That's why you punt on this game in the heat with the score the way it was and the way Brown was pitching. You say, all right, leave him in there. If he gives up a homer, so be it. But we're not going to crush the bullpen tonight. That's in my eyes why he probably made that decision, and I would say it's probably right.
Yeah.
I like the 3 pitchers they've got. Right now, before you make a trade, if a playoff series comes, those are your 3 pitchers.
Well, you have to also remember, too, like just how much Craig had to use the bullpen over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
In all, like those runs, like the lots of runs.
And
right?
and in heat.
And in like crazy heat, yeah. So I know no fan wants to hear that, but like that's how the manager has to be. And that's how you like take care of your players too, whenever, and keep them healthy. So yeah, I wasn't like whenever he brought Brown back out for the 6th, I said that to you or Jake. I was like, Counsell was punted on this game. He is just trying to get every ounce of anything left out of Brown, and Brown just was done.
Yeah,
and he gave up another 2-run homer, and then gave up another hit, and then Counsell finally came and got him. Michael Fulmer came in, and I don't know, first appearance, blowout game. He gave up a home. I think didn't he give up a homer too? He gave up some runs.
Yes.
I thought he gave up a homer, yeah, right? And then, he gave up, but he also kind of settled in after that and whatever. So they didn't blow the bullpen tonight, which was good. I do want to mention the World Series teams or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Back on June 17th, The Athletic they posted this graphic, and they said that they analyzed every World Series winner since 1998 to see what they had in common. And stats and history say that 5 teams from this year fit that profile of being able to win it all in October.
And when was this written?
On June 17th.
Okay.
Okay? It wasn't an article. It's literally just a graphic.
Yeah.
It's just history says one of these 5 teams should win the World Series.
Based on what's happened so far.
Yeah, based off stats and things compiled together. From Neil Payne, all right? Paine. And those 5 teams are the Astros, the Padres, the Tigers, the Yankees, and the Cubs. One of those 5 teams, according to this
Say them again.
exercise, the Astros, Cubs, Padres, Tigers, Yankees.
Not the Mets. Not the Phillies.
Not the Dodgers.
Not the Dodgers. Have had a lot of injuries. Boy, there's still a lot of talent there.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers have a lot of talent, and they've been able to survive because they have so much depth because of their good farm system, on top of the fact that they just spend stupid money. And that's a whole conversation for another day, but that's the reason they've been able to stay afloat. They do have if they didn't have the payroll that they had with all the injuries they had, they'd probably be like the Braves right now. But they have so much depth that they're able to hang in there, and also having Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman somehow being awesome at age 36 happening, and Mookie Betts, and Will Smith is a guy that no one talks about. But yeah, no, I think the Dodgers aren't on here because no one's won back-to-back World Series since the Yankees back in 2000.
Yeah, the chat's reminding us that Fulmer would have given it wrong. PCA robbed the home run.
Ah, yes,
That's
my
it.
bad. Thank you. That was one of the few good moments from the game. If there was any positive to take away from this game, is that catch PCA made at the wall. Kind of reminded me of the Tauchman catch. And then the very next inning, Liberatore still on the mound, I believe. PCA, Well, no, I think Liberatore is off. He did hit a double off Liberatore early in the game, which was awesome because he's a lefty and he struggled against lefties this year. But he hit a bloop double, and then came around to score. PCA was like the only bright spot for the Cubs tonight, outside of Carson Kelly, I guess, too.
My point about the pushing some of the chips in to make a serious move, and I'm not saying trade all of your top 100 prospects. I'm just saying the Cubs are easily, even if you zoom in on just the last 2 weeks, you could still look at it and say the Cubs are, and Godfather, I know you want to be angry about tonight, and it's okay however you want to Cub.
He's angry every night.
I know he's always
just
angry.
Let him be angry.
The Cubs are easily, of the teams that have a chance right now, you would say, to get to the World Series or win a World Series, they're easily one of the 10 teams in baseball. Mm-hmm. I would agree with the list you say. I would say they're also easily one of the 6 or 7. So now the list is shrinking. Once you start to get into that window, you've got to start to make moves where you know your team is lacking. So that's what I hope we're going to see here in the next 6 weeks or so. Like aggressive moves to show us that you're serious that this team should make a postseason run that should excite this fan base. That's all I want to see. I'm not saying they should win the World Series. I'm not saying they're the most talented team. But give them a chance to compete in that competition of 6 or 7 teams that probably realistically are good enough to get to a World Series or play in NLCS or ALCS. Give them a shot at that.
Yeah,
I do think this team has proven they deserve that. That doesn't mean you go give up the whole future for everything, but it also doesn't mean you hold on to those prospects forever, because that's crazy too. And for the people that are like, oh yeah, but Tyone's no good. No, he had one bad start. He made like 10 quality starts in a row. It was like we just talked about how incredible he's been, and then he had one bad start.
Yeah, well, there's also more Kyle Tucker slander in here tonight. It just blows my mind. Allen, trade Tucker for pitching. I want to throw up from reading that comment, like honestly. Tucker had a great weekend. great week. He went for 4 tonight, though. Hopefully bounce back tomorrow. He'd go up against a lefty tonight. Liberatore's actually been pretty good for the Cardinals this year. I'll give him credit. I think the loss tonight is on Ben Brown giving up 3 2-run homers. I think Ian Happ not being able to drive in some runs there and hitting into that double play was big. I think some of the at-bats early in the game probably weren't very good. They attacked early, and they attacked early in the count, and they didn't do any damage. So that is what it is. But man, I don't know, man. I just think that I'd still take the spot that we're in comparatively to a lot of teams. So tomorrow, try and change the narrative, or begin to change the narrative tomorrow. That's all I can hope for.
I feel good going
not freaking out.
Tyone, Boyd, and Shota.
Yeah. You win
against the Cardinals team that's not. The Cardinals team is not great at anything.
They're a good defensive team.
Good.
No, they're great. They're great.
You're gonna say they're great?
It pains me to say it, but they are a great defensive team.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you a great. I don't know if they're any better than the Cubs are defensively.
I
don't know what the numbers say.
I think Scott is up there in terms of, at least as a defensive outfielder, he's up there with Pete. I think maybe not better, but he's up there. I think Mason Wynn is great defensively.
Ian Happ's got Gold Gloves.
Yeah, but
I know left fielders don't have. I know. Dansby's really good. Horner's really good.
I hate the Cardinals.
I think Michael Busch is better than people give him credit for at first base. Better than Willson Contreras at first.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that we also haven't talked about. Well, I guess we kind of talked about when we were talking about Suarez and all this, but like they struggled against left-handed starters because they're missing that extra right-handed bat. And Carson Kelly isn't Barry Bonds right now, even though he's been hitting a little bit better, I think.
Well, it's a bummer that Miguel Amaya got hurt when he did.
Right, and Miguel Amaya got hurt, and Justin Turner hasn't been what they needed from the right side, and Matt Shaw is, a rookie and had a good stretch, and now he's in the bad stretch. I did think he had 2 really good at-bats tonight. hit that line drive. Unfortunately, Arenado caught it, and then he walked his next at bat. So maybe it's a sign of good things to come. He had a line drive on Sunday. I'm literally grasping for straws when it comes to Matt Shaw because I'm just looking for something good from the guy. I used to have to do this with PCA. You all laughed at me, told me I was wrong, and now we're looking at him be a superstar player. So I don't want to hear it about Matt Shaw. And I'm not saying that Matt Shaw is going to be a superstar player. I'm just saying that we have to be patient. We have to just ride it out. We have to grind it out. Shouldn't have to, but we have to.
We are back tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching and fly the W.